NFL Week 1, we're heading into Sunday Night Football. Everything has changed from fantasy football. We have tons of lessons that we've learned. Quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends. The whole landscape has changed now. We finally have stats for these guys. I was so excited watching these games today, ready to break down all of the ramifications, all of the changes. Now, we're going to have ranking videos for every position like we do every single week. So make sure you smash the subscribe button, smash the like button. Help us out as a small channel. Help us out grow. We're going to go game by game. And I'm going to break down, what we saw out of each of these fantasy relevant players and kind of how, just giving you a quick little breakdown of how all of their stats were and how we can project going into the future. First game we're going to break down is Buccaneers and Falcons. Now, Baker Mayfield did not look sharp, right? He was missing Chris Godwin, but he did show signs of life. You're happy with his fantasy performance today. He did scrap together a solid performance with 3 passing touchdowns. Now, Emeka Egbuka Jr. is the main winner from this game. This guy broke out onto the scene. 4 catches, 67 yards. Oh, it's a modest receiving line. Listen, this guy's a rookie wide receiver. His first game ever in the league. That's, 4 catches, 70 yards, nothing to... Oh, 2 receiving touchdowns as well? This guy is good. This guy is a stud. I honestly think that this also will impact Chris Godwin's value because Godwin, we got the news, is targeting a week 5 return. Now, obviously, they're going to benefit from Godwin, but Egbuka is probably still going to be very relevant. Mike Evans had a modest day, 5 for 51. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's solid, right? It's not the worst. He did have 8 targets, so he was a main target for Baker Mayfield. He had the most targets on this offense. Everybody else, very, very bad in terms of receiving. You have Bucky Irving, who had 4 catches for 8 yards. You like to see that he's getting involved in the receiving game. He just wasn't efficient. Now, the main loser for the Buccaneers is Cade Otton. Now, I get it. Cade Otton was coming into this game banged up, but Godwin's not there. He had, 3 targets, 0 catches. You can't have that. Tez Johnson also was not involved at all. A bit surprising to me. The rushing side of things, Baker did have 40 rushing yards. So he actually he did have a solid, very solid fantasy performance today. Bucky Irving, dust. Bucky Irving was dusty. 2.6 yards per carry. Rachaad White only carried the ball 2 times. That is probably the best news as a Bucky Irving owner you can get, is that this was Bucky Irving's backfield and Rachaad White, almost a complete non-factor. The Falcons side of the football, no Darnell Mooney, and Drake London was also out in the last 2 minutes of this game after being banged up with a shoulder. We'll have to watch how Drake London's shoulder feels. Michael Penix, solid day. I mean, rushing-wise, he gave you a touchdown on the ground. 6 carries, 21 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Also, almost 300 passing yards and a passing touchdown, no interceptions. Not terrible. Not a terrible day for Michael Penix. I still don't really see a world where we're going to be starting him in fantasy unless, I don't see it. Maybe if he gets a deep threat with Mooney, maybe if that connection hits, sure. Receiving-wise, Bijan Robinson, 6 receptions, 100 yards, and a tutty. He had the big breakaway 50-yard reception to start this game off. Insane. The mousetrap, Kyle Pitts. You put your finger in, you think you're going to snap? No. Pitts had a very good, finish to this game. Pitts had 0 points at half, comes out, 7 catches, 59 yards on 8 targets. 8 targets you like to see, and you like to see him hauling in 7 out of those 8. Kyle Pitts Sr. Yeah, I'm going to bump him up the rankings moving forward, but keep in mind Mooney was out, so was it because of that he was getting these targets? Also, a lot of these came kind of in garbage time towards the end of the game in a quick 2-minute drill. Drake London, 8 catches, 15 targets. I mean, you're not happy that he missed 7 of these targets, right? But some of them were uncatchable. He did have, 13.5 fantasy points. A solid day all around, but you're concerned about his shoulder. Drake London is still an elite wide receiver. Everybody else, irrelevant. Bijan, not efficient on the ground, but who cares when he's number 1 receiver. Tyler Algier was also involved on the ground, which is a bit concerning. But honestly, I think it was kind of like a change of pace. Bijan's already so involved. So that is a breakdown of the Buccaneers and the Falcons. Now let's go look at the next game. Bengals and Browns. Bengals fantasy football was bad. If you had Chase Brown, maybe you're happy with Chase Brown's performance because he gave you the touchdown. He wasn't efficient on the ground. You have 21 carries, 43 rush yards, terrible. You have 1 touchdown, okay. Involved in the receiving game, he had 3 targets, 2 for 8. It was a bad day for every single Cincinnati Bengal. If we look at it, Jamar Chase, 2 catches on 5 targets, 26 yards. Joe Burrow had a not so good day either. He was decently efficient, but this guy, the amount of pressures that the Cleveland Browns were able to get on this Bengals pass attack and everything. the Browns defense overwhelmed Cincinnati, and the Bengals couldn't move the ball. They got lucky that they won. The Browns kicker sold this game. From the Browns side of things here, Joe Flacco is going to make this passing attack very fantasy relevant. 31 of 45, almost 300 passing yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Dylan Sampson, he got the bulk of the carries, and he also had 8 receptions on 8 targets for 64 yards, and they were good receptions. Harold Fannin Jr. is also a massive riser. I would honestly target Harold Fannin Jr. on waiver wires this week. 7 catches on 9 targets, 63 yards. Look at Njoku, only 6 targets, only holding 3 of them, right? So Fannin Jr. might, and Njoku's in a contract year, they can probably get rid of him after this year. So they want to see Fannin succeed. You know, Judy, Tillman, pretty solid games from both of them. Tillman's the one that gets the touchdown, so technically you're more excited. And everyone else, not really as relevant. Judkins. We have news that Judkins can be coming back as early as next week. He's meeting with the league to discuss, if he's going to have a suspension. Dolphins and Colts. The Indianapolis Colts, the major risers. Like Jonathan Taylor, solid game. DJ Giddens looked all right. It was mostly garbage time. But Jonathan Taylor didn't get the touchdown and also wasn't involved at all as a receiver. I guess he was. He had 3 catches, 27 yards. So he had a solid day in terms of everything, but didn't have a touchdown, which makes you a bit disappointed. Daniel Jones looked good. Passing the ball, almost 300 yards. He also had 2 rushing touchdowns in tush-push formation. The major risers. Pittman Jr., 6 catches, 80 yards, and a tutty. Insane. Tyler Warren, 9 targets, 7 catches, 80 yards. Big-time riser. Josh Downs, big-time faller. Only 3 targets. Daniel Jones did not show a connection with him. Tua Tagovailoa sucks. He sucked this week. I don't want to say he sucks. We've seen him before look pretty solid. Devon Achane was averaging 8 yards per carry. Due to game script, he only got 7 carries. That's not impressive. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Tyreek Hill was injured. Jalen Waddle was injured. Not surprising. Tyreek Hill was crying on the sideline. It was kind of brutal. Devon Achane was also involved in the receiving game. So Devon Achane definitely had a solid day today. Everyone else, not impressive. And you're worried. You're worried about the health. You're worried about the whole dynamic. People are already spreading trade rumors about these Dolphins receivers. Let's not overreact too much, though. Let's see what happens in next week's game against the Patriots, an AFC East battle. The Raiders and the Patriots. Brock Bowers, you're concerned about the health, but he said he got hit in his knee and he's fine. He had 5 catches on 8 targets for 103 yards. Big day from Brock Bowers. No tutty. Jacoby Myers had a big day as well. Everybody else, not really fantasy relevant here in terms of receiving. Dante Thornton had a good debut. 2 catches, 45 yards on 4 targets. Genty also was all right. He only averaged 2 yards per carry, so he wasn't really good. Genty wasn't good, but he had the touchdown to salvage his day. And what you like to see with Genty is he was the clear bell cow back. So who cares if he wasn't good? As the draft capital they put in him, he's still going to be the bell cow for at least the next 8 games, even if he's still only averaging 2 yards, right? So he's got a very long leash. The Patriots. So troll. Why is Kayshon Boutte the number 1 receiver? 6 catches, 103 yards, 8 targets. Let me tell you, Kayshon Boutte is not somebody you want to target, not somebody you want to start in your flex. I don't really see a world where this is maintainable for Boutte. I tracked them all last year. Hunter Henry did have 8 targets, and Hunter Henry should be on the fantasy football radar as a streaming tight end. Stephon Diggs, 6 for 57, 7 targets, not bad. Why is Travion Henderson not being used? Ramondre Stevenson outsnapped Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson was much better in terms of rushing efficiency, much better in terms of receiving, and yet, outsnapped. Kind of weird. Hopefully that flips because it is frustrating to watch Ramondre Stevenson out there on the field. Now we're going to start speedrunning. Cardinals and Saints. Kyler Murray, very, very good game in my eyes. 2 passing touchdowns. Not a high passing total, but he also had 38 rushing yards on the ground. Trey Benson was involved, so James Conner owners are not going to be very happy with his performance. Only 39 yards, not as efficient either, but he was the one getting the receptions. 4 receptions for a very inefficient day from James Conner all around. Yeah, I'm scared. I have him in some of my leagues. I'm scared of James Conner and what Trey Benson's role could potentially be. MHJ, 5 for 71 and a tutty, big day. McBride involved, 9 targets, better days ahead. The Saints, Jawan Johnson, 8 for 76, 11, and he almost had a touchdown pass too for another 30 yards. So Jawan Johnson, he had a big contract extension this year. He might be a streamable tight end as well. Olave, modest day, decent. You like to see the 13 targets, but he was banged up, so that's a bit scary in the long-term future. Shaheed, also 9 targets. I think Shaheed is somebody that's streamable as a flex, and Kamara had a pretty mediocre day from his standards. Heading to the next game, Steelers-Jets. What do we have to talk about here? The Steelers, Jalen Warren. I mean, Kenneth Gainwell is somebody you should probably roster in some of your leagues. Gainwell got a lot of work in this game. DK Metcalf had a big day, 4 for 83. Calvin Austin, honestly, I would not target him. It's too late. Like, he'd be a great best ball draft pick right now, but you're not going to know when to put him in your starting lineup. He had 4 catches, 70 yards, 6 targets. But Metcalf is the main alpha here. Jonnu Smith and Pat Freiermuth, I still don't really have any clarity on who's the go-to tight end for Pittsburgh. The true answer is probably neither of them. Jonnu did have the touchdown catch, but he wasn't really efficient in terms of receiving. Breece Hall, 110 rush yards. Man, Justin Fields had a day as well. 2 rushing touchdowns, 48 rushing yards. It feels like Justin Fields is back. He was also good in terms of passing. I have Fields as my 7th ranked quarterback heading into next week. You'll see that in the QB rankings. But Garrett Wilson's stock is up, and so is Fields. I mean, hell of a fantasy day. Giants and Commanders. Pretty much every New York Giant should be falling down your rankings, except for Malik Neighbors. He had 12 targets. Now, he wasn't efficient. Maybe, there's some chemistry first game together. Malik Neighbors could have hauled in a lot of these deep passes, and he would have had a much better day. So I'm not scared at all about Malik Neighbors. Slot God, Wan'Dale Robinson had a decent game. Washington, Bill Crosby. Washington, JCM, 10 carries, very efficient, and a tutty. Jaden Daniels also had a solid day. I think there's better days ahead for Jaden Daniels in terms of passing touchdowns. Debo Samuel is the main riser. He had a hell of a day. Terry McLaurin, a bit of a faller, but we'll look to see him rebound next week in a big matchup against the Packers on Thursday Night Football. Panthers and Jaguars. Breaking down this game right here, we got Ted McMillan, 5 for 68. He did have no touchdown catches, so it was a modest day. Chuba Hubbard, highly involved. He's the bell cow back, and he was pretty decently efficient. So Chuba Hubbard is going to be someone you want to start again as an RB2 every single week. Every other Panther, not really too relevant. The Jaguars, ETN, 16 carries, 143 yards, 9 yards per rush attempt, and 3 receptions for 13 yards. He was good. Strange was also involved, but looking at the targets, why is Travis Hunter at 8 targets and BTJ is at, BTJ was at 7, only 1 catch. So I guess BTJ just stunk it up today, or maybe some of his weren't catchable. If you're a BTJ owner, you got lucky. You had the rush touchdown, 1 carry, 9 yards on an end around for a tutty. BTJ did not have a good game right here. I'm kind of scared seeing how Travis Hunter was used. He wasn't even that efficient, but why was BTJ not catching his passes? That's something to monitor heading into the future. Do you bump him down your rankings? Not yet. Don't overreact. It's only 1 week. Now, looking forward, we have the Titans and Broncos. The Broncos, you have RJ Harvey with a 50-yard rush attempt in his first rush. It was very explosive, very good. But Dobbins was the clear, front runner, and Dobbins actually was pretty solid. He had a couple receptions. He had 16 carries. Selden had a big game. He had 18 fantasy points. Any other receivers for Broncos? Not really, and I'm not worried about. You should be worried about Evan Ingram and Evan Ingram has a calf injury. The Titans, Tony Pollard's the bell cow. Tony Pollard, clear RB2. I like the volume he got. Scam Ward did not look very good. Calvin Ridley did not look very good, and every receiving option for Tennessee might just be cooked. 49ers and Seahawks. I want to speedrun this so I can listen to the Sunday Night Football song. Man, I want to hear Sunday Night Football song so bad. 49ers and Seahawks. Thinking about this, CMC is back. CMC is a clear bell cow. Not a great day from like a rushing perspective, but he had 9 receptions and 73 yards. I mean, he's a PPR GOAT with those numbers he put up. Ricky Pearsall also seems to be the real deal. Rest in peace, George Kittle. Rest in peace, Jawan Jennings. Kittle's actually hurt. Jawan Jennings was probably faking it, but he's also hurt as well, and he was not looking good anyway. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet had more rush attempts. That's scary. If you're a Kenneth Walker owner, you are in the you're not happy. You're not happy at all. JSN, I told you boys, JSN was going to be elite. He had 9 catches, 13 targets, 124 yards. Scam Darnold will be able to support JSN all season long. Lions and Packers. The Packers, Josh Jacobs saved his day from being terrible to being mediocre. Tucker Kraft is very efficient, but he doesn't get enough targets. It's hard to see, this Packers receiving core. It's the same thing as always. It's too wide. You're not going to be able to guess who has the big day. So honestly, I'd bump down every single Packers receiving option. Jordan Love had a solid day as well, though. He's probably a streaming quarterback. It's going to be, you're not going to be winning leagues though with Jordan Love. I don't think. Jared Goff and the Lions looked so bad. Like rushing perspective, very inefficient both these guys. Almost a 50-50 split between Montgomery and Gibbs. So if you're a Montgomery owner, you're probably happy about the split we saw. Looking at the receiving usage, Jahmyr Gibbs, 10 dump downs, 10 targets, caught them all. So Jahmyr Gibbs saved his day there. Montgomery also caught all 4 of his dump downs. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 targets, 4 catches, mid. Bad day. Laporta had a good day. Tesla's insane. Tesla should be rostered, even though he was only on the field for 1 snap behind. Khalif Raymond's got to go. Tesla's got to get boosted up. Why are we not targeting Jameson and Amara St. Brown more? The Lions' new OC it was bad. It's very concerning for any Lions player. Texans at Rams. Last game to break down before the song comes on. I'm scared. But I got to go quick. CJ Stroud. Nick Chubb sucks. Don't be deceived. Yes, Nick Chubb. 4 points. Nick Chubb sucks. Don't fall for the trick. Nico Collins. Bad day. 3 for 25. What happened? Only 5 targets. This passing attack for the Texans was not good today. Hopefully they rebound in a big way next week because it was a bad fantasy day for all Houston Texans. Los Angeles Rams. Puka Nacua is insane. Devontae Adams' better days are ahead, but Puka Nacua, he is a warrior. He caught all 10 out of 11 targets for 130 yards. I mean, Puka Nacua had a hell of a day. Kyron Williams also had a good day as well. I mean, the Kyron Williams touchdown streak, if you remember that from last year, we could be seeing that again soon. If you're a Kyron Williams owner, you're very happy with the usage we saw. He was getting most of those carries. There's a breakdown of week 1, man. Smash like and subscribe on it for more of this content. We can cook some more stuff up for Bills, Ravens, and Monday Night Football as well. Thanks for watching, boys.